Hi everyone, welcome back to a new video. Today we have this graphics card. This right here is an Nvidia GeForce 9500 GS. This card was released in July of 2008 for around 70 euros and has 512 megabytes of DDR2 VRAM, a GPU clock of 550 MHz and has 32 shading units. Let's find out if this 12-year-old card can still be used for gaming in 2020. Alright, before the video starts, I just want to ask you guys to please subscribe. 98% of my audience is not subscribed and that's quite a lot. Subscribing helps me out massively and it would be awesome if you subscribed. Alright, first of all, before starting the benchmark, let's first clean the card and replace the thermal paste. This went pretty easy since the cooler on this card is pretty small. Alright, with the thermal paste replaced, let's put the card in my system and boot it up. This is my test system. It features an Intel Core i5-2400, 8GB of DDR3 RAM and usually a HD6970. Alright, with the card installed, let's boot the system up. Now that the PC is booted up, let's install the drivers. This went smooth and easy. Now let's try watching YouTube on this card. YouTube is perfectly watchable up to 1080p. So if you want to build a home theater PC on the cheap, this card is suitable to use. I got this card for free, but I see these cards often going for under $10. Alright, time to move on to the benchmark. I unfortunately can't show you the benchmark because the monitor that I used acted really weird on camera when showing white, which is something you'll see in this video. So we're gonna move right on to Heaven. Heaven on the high quality preset gave an average FPS of 4 and a score of 101. Time for some games. First off, Minecraft. Minecraft on the highest settings with a render distance of 20 chunks got an average FPS of 58 with 1% lows of 8 FPS and 0.1% lows of 5 FPS. These low FPSs mostly came when loading in new chunks. Next up, Roblox. Roblox on the second to lowest quality got an average FPS of 41 with 1% lows of 20 FPS and 0.1% lows of 3 FPS. So Roblox is perfectly playable on this card. Time for Euro Truck Simulator 2. This game would sadly not load and crashed every time that I tried to load into the menu. Alright, now on to Bus Simulator 12. This game was almost playable on the lowest settings in the 1366x768 resolution. I got around 20 FPS just walking around, but when I got near a bus the FPS dropped down to below 10. So sadly this game is not playable. Next up, time for CSGO. I couldn't get the FPS counter to show up in this game, but CSGO was playable on the lowest settings. Alright, now moving on to BeamNG Drive. This game would sadly not load due to DirectX limitations. Time for Bus Simulator 16. On the lowest settings, this game was not playable. I had way too much input lag and this game for some weird reason slows down the time when the GPU can't run the game. I got an average FPS of 16 with 1% lows of 11 FPS and 0.1% lows of 10 FPS. Now on to PC Building Simulator. On the lowest settings in a 1024x768 resolution, this game was still not playable. I got an average FPS of 10 with 1% and 0.1% lows of 4 FPS. And last up we have Fortnite. This game would not load due to DirectX limitations. And with that, it's time to uninstall the drivers and shut the PC down. Now what do I think of this card? Well, for use in a very budget home theater PC, I would recommend this card since I regularly see these cards go for under $10. But for gaming and everything else, I would not recommend this card since it's just got too old. Most games more intensive than Minecraft won't run. Adding to the negatives of this card is loud. Under load, this card will sound like a laptop on the verge of dying. At least the fan does its job, I guess, since this card does stay cool under load. But at the end of the day, I would absolutely not recommend this card for any use except watching 1080p YouTube and movies. And with that, this video comes to an end. Thanks so much for watching, comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye!